My name is Keenan Hoar-Perez, and I am the International Sales Manager on behalf of PakTech. The can handles design by far. And that's what kind of drew me to PakTech initially, is I'm based out of Eugene, Oregon, and we had a lot of breweries out there that were using these can handles. I didn't even realize that PakTech was manufactured and based in my backyard, so in Eugene. So that's what initially drew me. The innovation for the can handle design, I think, is one of the best innovations in packaging right now. This style of handle, right? So it's simple, it's lightweight, we can match any different color. Oh,
yeah, nice one.
There we go. But it was a way in which a lot of the packaging out there, what it'll do is it'll cover up the brand. And so this is a way that we can just highlight the brand. It can be popped onto the top. It's manual application. There's no CapEx for a lot of our clients. So it was innovative, it was simple, but I like simple designs. You know, so when I think it was probably the lack of knowledge in what I was doing that got me more interested. When I started, I was pretty fresh out the gate, started off in prospecting role. My goal was really reaching out to any and all clients, introducing them to our products, learning about new industries, different developments, new trends in the industries that we can hit on. And part of that process, you really have to listen and learn from those clients, because I'm also kind of learning on the job. So you got to keep your eyes open, have to keep your ears open. And that started getting me more interested in the packaging industry in general, what solutions we provide, and how they assist our clients. But it was that kind of that understanding that there's continuous growth in that market. You go down a rabbit hole here and there and learn more. It was good. I think the variety, I think, you know, my first introduction to international sales was in Latin America. And I initially realized, like, in the United States, a lot of what we do is very cut and paste, right? So it's, you have one price, that is a price accepted between both parties. You kind of have a table that you work on that's mutually accepted. Versus when you start going to different markets, there's different negotiation behaviors. Everything might be negotiable, nothing is negotiable. There's different creative aspects in deal structure, or timelines are expanded, or there's different labor markets as well. Labor markets then have kind of a trickle-down effect to your CapEx, about how much somebody can invest into a machine. So it's interesting, different culture, both cultural environments, purchasing behaviors, consumer aspects as well, lead all into that funnel of our sales process. So you have to kind of account for that along the way. It started at the beginning, right? So I'm from Eugene, Oregon. It's kind of a big town, small city, but a very local mindset. And the culture in like Eugene, Oregon is very sustainably focused, right? PakTech itself is a family-owned, privately owned company, but that sustainability mission was really top-down. It's embedded in really everything we do. So from a local mindset, that's kind of how we operate on a global stage. So sustainability for us, it's not more about what we can do to promote sustainability in marketing. It's not more about what we can do to gather this large market interest. We want to promote sustainable materials because it's what's right to, not necessarily what's profitable to. Hopefully it does good for the business, but by doing what's right at the first part, it'll trickle down into more benefits. So started at the beginning. NIR coloring is a really perfect example. That ties back into what we're doing in sustainability, is that sustainability is something that needs to go across the board. It has to hit every aspect of our process. And if it only hits 99%, that's not good enough. It needs to hit 100% of our process. So with black plastics, we hit an obstacle where a lot of the sorting processes, the optical systems, weren't picking up that black plastic throughout the sorting. So we could sort, you know, our whole color spectrum, but black plastic was not able to be sorted and therefore reprocessed into the material. So we had to kind of go back to the drawing box and say, what can we do to adjust this material and color it? We ended up finding an NIR color, so it's near infrared. So now when that black plastic goes across the board, goes down those sorting systems, those optical systems are able to reflect, the light reflects into the camera systems, and it's able to be sorted and processed. And it was a small technical change, but it had a huge impact, and it made that into a full kind of comprehensive approach. Well, we're very used to marketing. We're very used to what, you know, sustainable, something's green, something's natural, it's organic. They have a variety of certifications. But once you start digging into the data and kind of the application of material and how it goes through the process, you start finding out that it's not as sustainable as maybe the consumers think. What it needs to be shifted is a focus not what the consumer thinks, but what the reporting shows. And that's where I think you're going to see the primary difference. Is you might have consumer mentality that in whole believes that one material is sustainable. There might be a big lobby behind it, there might be big marketing efforts to convince that consumer. But the real companies that are going to have success in the industry are those that are able to be data-driven, report-driven, be able to show that it's not just a marketing message, but this is, in effect, a more sustainable material when we go from beginning to end of life. That's going to be the primary differentiator. The latter, yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I think when we're talking to packaging engineers, they're in the weeds with, like, say in the EU specifically, PPWR. They need to be very knowledgeable about PPWR because they're going to be the ones having to report those materials. And then that's going to go into taxation, and they're going to have to feel the effects at the end of the stage. Consumers are going to hear everything is sustainable and everything is green. And so that's the hardest game that we play, especially. We deal with it every day. We sell a handle and they say, well, that's plastic, that's bad. We have to really work on educating the customer to say, it is plastic, but this is actually waste material. This has already been used. This is 100% recycled. It's sustainable. We have to do a lot of work on the reporting side to hopefully not confuse the customer and really simplify it down. But it's, I think there's a lot of messaging now in our industry specifically that is confusing the customer base. And I hope that we can streamline this. And I think that's going to come down to truth in labeling, truth in reporting. PPWR is going to force the hand a lot of companies to show truly what they're doing and maybe have to adjust their marketing and reporting still. We continue to assist our clients. We focus on a client per time, at a time. It's in sales, it tends to be a numbers game. But our goal is to truly assist the client, whether they're ordering one box and they don't need a machine, whether they're just getting their feet on the ground, whether they're ordering truckloads and they need automation. We want to put that same mentality. My goal is that we never lose that, is that we focus on the customer first. We started as a family-owned, privately-owned company. So there's a family mindset in our team, and I hope that's never lost, because that's our sauce. That's what makes us really strong is we have really good communications internally and really good support network internally. Outside of professional mindset, we have a team, we have tenure. We have people in our company who have been with us since they got out of high school and they've worked with us since the early 90s. And that mindset is something that I think gives our company the most strength.